What's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Off the Schneid. It's Monday night. We're going to rip some drafts. We're going to chat quickly beforehand about exposure stuff. So we're halfway, something like that. Throughout the tournament, we had the war room that's filled, obviously, and gone. We've got the big board that is almost 70% filled, and I guess kind of behind the fill rate. So I kind of have some drafting to do of the big board, which is fine. That's kind of what we're here for. The big board, I have 2 bullets left, and then the little board is filling the slowest, being a 20 max. I got 6 bullets left on that. So that all feels good. But kind of what I was getting at is we're going to even out our exposures for the rest of this thing here. So that's kind of what we want to use the home stretch, the last few drafts that we have. Well, I have a fair amount, but however many you have, you want to use those to even out your exposures. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about and do tonight. Alboogie's in here 30 minutes ahead of time. Appreciate that. He's the first one in. Jordan Kramer, GM, what's up, man? Build a bracket with us. I don't know enough right now about college basketball, but maybe we'll do a draft or something if there's still interest at the end here. But I used to be a massive NCAA basketball fan. Not big time, but I used to bet almost daily on college basketball. And then I was just massively into March Madness and all that kind of stuff. And then it's just kind of fallen by the wayside. Realistically, I don't really know what I'm talking about, but I don't know. Maybe we'll do a draft. I thought about ripping a couple of those bracket drafts just for fun sort of thing, have some sweats. How much exposure is too much exposure? I said the same thing at the sauna. Yeah, that's a question you want to ask yourself when you're in the sauna with nothing but dudes. I'm not saying you were, Jeff. I'm just saying that's typically how it works in a public sauna anyways. So let's go to the exposures. I'm just going to rip through this quickly because we're not going to spend a crazy amount of time on this. I do want to get drafting. I just kind of want to talk about, and it's not just the same across the board. Your exposures shouldn't be the same across the board. At least it's almost impossible for it to be the same across the board. So let's just look at the top of my exposures. That's all we're going to look at, just the top and all of the positions. So Jeremy Bernard, I have 74% basically. Let's zoom in and get this a little easier to see. So 74% Jeremy Bernard, right? Is that too much? We'll get into it in a minute here kind of thing. Katron Allen, 41%. That's quite a bit. That's fine, I think. But again, that's what we're going to dig into. Emmett Johnson, 35%. Eli Stowers, we're at 28%. I kind of like that. Jameer DK, I think it's still fine at 28, but that might be a little bit aggressive with Wandale coming in. But we'll see. Again, I can even that out as we go, as we wrap up. Juwan Jennings still hasn't signed yet, 27%. I still think he's a good click in the range that he goes, and we'll see where he ends up. Singleton, 26. Boston, 25. Worthy, 25. Base 24 for Irving, 24 for Gadsden, 23 for Najee. I'm not getting nervous about the Najee thing, by the way. I wouldn't expect him to sign. I don't even know if he can sign anywhere right now because he's technically not healthy. He's not passing a physical right now. So I'm not expecting him to sign. So anyone that's getting cold feet, I got him with the second last pick in the draft earlier today, I believe. So yeah, I'll take that every day with Najee. You're just getting a good price. That's why I have so much of them. McLaurin 23.5, Daniels 23.5. You see how it goes. So, what do all of these players kind of have in common? Most of them, right? 18th was a 20th, 19th, 18th, 17th round pick for Bernard. Katron Allen has actually done nothing but fall. Emmett Johnson, same thing, nothing but fall. Eli Stowers has risen a bit, but he's still, 17th round click, something like that. You can pull him up sometimes to the 15th, maybe 16th, 17th. You can still get him in the 18th at times in certain rooms. DK, again, falling, late round guy. That's what they all have in common pretty clearly. Boston been falling. Singleton falling. Worthy little later than I think he should go. I think there's value there. Bucky, I thought that before. I still think he's a fine click, though Kenny Gainwell is basically the same thing. Either way, we don't need to get into that realistically. But what do these guys have in common? They're all pretty late round clicks. Some Terry McLaurin, probably a 4th round pick, steadily. And Irving, we'll call them. Those are my 2 highest exposures, rounds, 2 through 4, essentially, right? So let's keep that in mind, obviously. Then let's just jump straight into a draft room. We're going to do a big board. So let's jump into that. Jump in if you want to jump in. And then we're going to continue this conversation. Let's get to that. Get rid of the combo tool for a second. We'll talk about that as well. But looking at the board, so talking about exposures and talking about draft position or round by round is kind of the way I wanted to go about it tonight. So first round clicks, unless and some guys do this where they take 3 or 4 first round picks and that's all that they draft. So they typically will be fading picks 1, maybe even 2, because they're tough to get. Maybe it'll be, let's say it's Puka or Chase is who they'll go with in the first kind of first third or first quarter of the draft, right? Then maybe it's like JT and CeeDee Lamb. And then down here at the bottom, it's, Genty and maybe actually probably not even that much. Probably one of these guys. Let's say it's Puka, JT, Lamb, and Genty. And maybe we'll swap that for Amon-Ra, something like that. And those are the only first round picks that this person would be clicking, period. I don't do that, though I know some people do employ that strategy. So they're going to end up with, a good 20% or so of those first round picks, right? Me, I don't typically get that high in a first round click because this year I'm actually not really fading anyone in the first round. CMC, bit of a soft fade, but beyond that, I'm picking everybody in the first round. So I'm not going to get over like 10%. I think if you're high on a guy in the first round, you're like 10 to 12%. And that's borderline a stand almost with that first round selection. Again, depending on what your strategy is. And then basically it just goes up from there. So first round pick, let's call it 10 to 12%. Second round pick, 12 to 14, maybe up to 16% if you really like the guy. It's important to know what's the field, what's average. Average or the field is what people will say. I say the field all the time. I think it's 8.7%, I believe, 8.3 or 8.7. I can't particularly remember, but let's call it 8.5. 8.5% is the average or the field of that player of max drafters, whatever, right? So if you're double the field at 16%, that's quite the stand, right? So that's what you could probably get. I mean, you could in the first round too. Again, you just have to fade some guys in the first. We're going Chase, obviously. So then in the second round, let's say you're taking a stand on somebody, it's 16, 18%. That's quite the stand in the second round. And again, just essentially goes up from there. So they're easy because they're easier to get, right? Obviously, a second round pick, like a 15th, ADP, 15th overall ADP, you can pull up to the first round, no problem, and get your exposure up. So same thing it's usually around the turns, right? And then if you're in the middle of the draft, sometimes you can get some falling value and prop up your exposures a little bit. So all that to kind of say, like, treat it tiered like that, essentially, in your own portfolio. At least that's how I do it. Is my first round guys, I'm not going to be able realistically to get much higher than 12%. It's just not particularly possible for me unless you're fading, multiple first round picks, which, I have been there in the past. I'm just not this year. And maybe I will do that in the Best Ball Mania season, but not in the big board. I don't think it makes sense to do it in the big board anyways. Then just basically it progresses from there as you get further down the draft board. So again, when I showed my exposure earlier, the guys that are down here in the 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th round, if I believe in them, I'm going to have a shit ton of that player, like 75% Jeremy Bernard. You fucking better believe it, because I can get them in the 20th, 19th, 18th, now 17th round. I'm clicking them every single time, right? So another thing that I always say, and it plays into this exposure talk, is anything basically, I could make an argument it's after round 12, but I typically say, especially in the big board, let's call it round 14. Anything past round 14 does not matter. ADP doesn't matter whatsoever. So go ahead and pull up a 20th round guy. If you want to get more exposure or you just really, really believe in the guy, whatever it is, don't have to justify it to anybody but yourself. Pull him up as far as you want, get your exposure to where you want it, and take it from there. So again, it's not the same across the board down the draft board. Your exposure shouldn't be the same. You should be making some stands in certain places, and then again, pulling up and getting your guys. So that's kind of what I wanted to dig into a little bit when talking about exposures. So again, people will be like, oh, 75% Jeremy Bernard, you're crazy. Like, what if he gets injured? I don't give a shit if he gets injured, if I'm being honest. If I take a 0 from Jeremy Bernard, it's not going to kill my lineups. It's not going to kill my best ball bags, if you will. Let's go Kenny Walker. I don't have him paired with Jamar Chase, so that's a pretty easy click right there. Let's do that. Bring him in. Combo tool looks like it's working pretty well these days. Shout out Best Ball Overlay. If you draft in volume, I highly, highly, highly recommend you use an overlay. I use Best Ball Overlay. Promo code in the description, OTS. Save yourself some bucks. Help out Mr. Fantasy Dog Pound. And yeah. Highly, highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. Do I take my first George Pickens share if he falls to 28? I probably do right there, I guess. Okay, he goes. That's fair. Makes sense. Probably shouldn't have been there. Josh Jacobs. I'm not really drafting a crazy amount of Josh Jacobs. He's there. I think A.J. Brown makes some sense. Let's do A.J. Brown. I kind of want to be just, again, at the field. So 7.1% right now. Let's juice that up a little bit. That's a guy that, again, like that's how I look at a lot of these guys is I want to be at the field. So if he goes off and he's wide receiver, 4 or something this year, then I'm not going to miss out on it. I'm going to have some shares of that guy. I don't necessarily think A.J. Brown is that guy, but he does have that top end ceiling that we saw as recent as late last year where he got, 30 whatever points. So definitely a guy that I want to be at the field on. Steven Hines in here. What's happening? Smash the like. Game Tight. Game Tight's in his draft with us here. We got Gritty at the 12. Shout out Gritty. Game Tight in the 9 spot. Probably some other guys in here. I think Game God maybe. S Favorito maybe. I'm not sure. If you're in the chat and drafting, let me know. Or go ahead and lurk. Do your thing, man. You do you. PPR Tyler, what's up, man? Appreciate you popping in. How you doing? How you doing? Disbanded. Initiates the AI. Man, Gritty would have been licking his chops with Josh Allen there at the turn. Licking his chops there. Yeah, maybe we'll draft if there's enough interest at the end after this draft. Maybe we'll rip a college basketball one. I do want to get some drafts in. I've been doing some digging, looking up some stuff a little bit. Barely making my way down the bracket so far, but I'll get there eventually and rip some drafts. Game God's in here. I had a feeling he was in there. There you go. What's up, man? Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Hit that like button, guys, if you don't mind. If you're new to the channel, you like the content, hit the subscribe button and notification bell. I think we'll be a little bit earlier these days, half an hour early. Probably we'll go 10:30 Eastern time, 8:30 where I live. And then we can wrap up a little bit earlier and I can get my old ass to bed. Back-to-back nights of hockey. It is this old body of mine is, and with a 5-month-old, not sleeping through the night, man, I'm in rough shape, but we're doing all right. We're here. We're powering through it. We're drafting. It's the name of the game. Let's bring up the combo tool. All right, who do we want to go with here? I do want to get a little bit unique. Might be Devonta Smith. I think that's the way to go. Falls is just a couple picks. I don't have AJ with McLaurin. I don't think I want to go Devonta with AJ Brown. Then I just feel like I have to get Jalen Hurts. And I have built a couple of those already, and it's fine, but I don't want a crazy amount of that, to be honest. I'd rather single stack Jalen Hurts with the rushing upside. I don't think it's necessary. And what have I been preaching all draft cycle? I can't just flip it now and go back on it realistically. It would look a little silly. Loveland would have been on the board for us for sure. If JMO falls, that'd be great. I don't expect him to. I don't have a lot of Bayshall Tootin. I don't necessarily want to do that. Let's go with Waddle. I just think he's kind of too good here. Yeah, I just think he's too good of a click there to not. This is a super solid wide receiver room. That's pretty strong. Falling a little bit behind at running back, but again, I do want to purposefully build teams like this, where it's hero RB, whatever, single RB, zero RB, whatever the hell we're calling it these days. The kids are calling it whatever we're calling it. I do want to intentionally build some of these types because it's super easy to go with 2 running backs or 3 realistically and feel pretty good about it, and then just kind of go from there. It's super comfy to start 3 running backs or at least 2 and then kind of take it from there. But you have to kind of get a little bit uncomfortable when we're drafting. To again, the whole thesis of tonight's episode was about just balancing out your portfolio. I think it's very important to get a little bit of every type of build. I think if you're stuck in your ways, I guess if that's what wins this year, but it's pretty hard to just say this is what's going to win this year and nail that down and then just draft nothing but that type of build, right? So I don't know. We'll see. I'm just not doing that. I don't think it makes any sense. You can't really justify it to me. You really can't. But if you're stuck in your ways, you're stuck in your ways and do your thing. But I want to build a balanced portfolio of every type of roster construction. And not necessarily every type of player or every player, because I have tons of fades. I have 0 clicks to Scattaboo. I have 1 where I got bullied. If PPR Tyler's still in the chat, I got bullied into drafting Judkins and won't again. So there's that. So fade your guys, have your fades, have your stands, but it's just about structure. Again, we talked about it last episode, was it? Or the one before, about structure just being the most important thing when we're talking about drafting. Are you doing any true 0 RB builds? I'm trying to, honestly, you have to really try to do it and force yourself into it because it's hard not to. I think I've got a couple where I have no running backs until round 6, something like that. And that it just feels dirty. It just feels gross, but you have to mix it in. I feel like we're going to go Burrow for sure with the Chase stack. How much do I have with Chase? 44%. So about 50. That'll be okay. That'll be okay. I'm trying to do more, honestly. I've been talking about it for a few episodes. I'm trying to do more 0 RB builds and get some true 0 RB builds in there where if it just, it feels bad and it feels like you're losing, to be honest. It feels like, man, there's no way this team can win, is really what like is going through your head. It's just there's no way that this team is going to be able to, you know, win any sort of tournament, let alone advance. You're just like, man, there's no way I'm going to advance this team. It's just not happening. So, but you know, you have to do it, because if you do, and what I've been saying for like weeks now is, if you look at the top of the board, like all of these running backs up here, yeah. Oh man, I would have went Hurts for sure. That would have been good. Let's make this pick and then we'll finish that thought. I think it has to be Parker Washington. It's kind of always Parker Washington around here. So let's do that. And then we're going to have to get cute at wide receiver, or sorry, quarterback a little bit later. Sort of saying about these running backs like Bijan, Gibbs, Taylor, McCaffrey, Cook, Achane, realistic Genty, Kenny Walker, Chase Brown, all these guys, Etienne, Jacobs, Kyron, you know, all these guys, Javonte, led their careers or had, you know, season high in touches, career high in touches. So injuries, I think, could bubble up. I think that could be like a strategy that you employ, is that injuries are going to catch up to some of these guys. Now it's getting the correct handcuff right. You know, that's where it can be a little murky. So Tank Bigsby, maybe if Barkley goes down, Bigsby's, you know, a smash, a league winner. Cook goes down, Ray Davis is a smash, potentially a league winner. Achane goes down, maybe Ollie Gordon is a league winner. Who else do we got? Hampton goes down, maybe Vidal or Keaton Mitchell is a league winner. Chase Brown, it's a little murky. Etienne, potentially a little murky. Jacobs, I don't think we know who the backup is yet, honestly. Maybe Braylon Allen with Breece Hall, right? So that's the kind of stuff that you could employ, and that's kind of what I'm doing here. Like it feels disgusting, but I'm trying to get some of these builds in. I really am. It does feel gross, no doubt. Boogie's back. What's up, man? Hartman's in here. How you doing? How you doing, man? So yeah, I think you have to do that. You have to do that if you're maxing. I mean, if you're not, that's fair. Do whatever. If you're only putting in 20, 50, whatever, you know, bullets into this thing, then you know, employ whatever strategy you kind of believe in the most. But if you're maxing 150 drafts, like you have to diversify. You have to, and you have to build these gross feeling teams, and just take it from there. I don't know who's my backup. Half PPR Tyler, what's up, man? / Bobby Hill. T-Law would be really fun. Ricky would be fun. Kyle Monagai would feel really good. That's another guy that could kind of be the guy. So that would make a ton of sense for this build. There goes Pearsall. So it's either T-Law or Monagai for sure. Let's go T-Law. It makes sense with our Parker Washington getting a fall on him. Don't want to fall too far behind at quarterback if I'm already pretty far behind at running back. Let's just do T-Law. I could stop there. Burrow and Trevor Lawrence. I think I'm going to stop at 2 there. I'm pretty confident on that. I'll definitely go Monagai. If not, I need a little more Tony. I'm not sure what to make of Tony Pollard this year, if I'm being honest. I'm really not sure what to make of that situation. If Jeremiah Love goes to the Titans, I feel like Pollard leaves. That's been my take, is if Jeremiah Love goes to the Titans, then they do something with Tony Pollard, whether it's a trade for a pick swap or they just release him outright. One of the two sorts of things. I think they could probably get a pick swap for him, most likely, I feel like, considering how weak the running back draft class is. It's hard to say, but I don't think you need to be like fading Tony Pollard. I'm only 4%, so I don't think that's enough of a guy that there's no reason to not like him. Especially when I know I need some points here. Yeah, let's go Tone Dog. Let's do that. The reason, another thing I want to talk about quickly is I don't bring up the combo tool typically when it like gets down the draft board. I'm less concerned by the time we get to rounds 8, 9, 10, right? I'm less concerned about combinations and I'm more concerned about my structure. So again, it was always going to be a running back there. When Trevor Lawrence falls into my lap, I click Trevor Lawrence. But then after that Tony Pollard pick was always going to be a running back. I was hoping for Monagai, didn't expect him. And then it becomes Pollard, Corum, Price. Who do I like the most? Who do I not have enough of exposure wise? What do I want to do there? So that's kind of why I didn't bring up the combo tool. I think it makes it's less and less important as you get down the draft board. It's still nice to bring up and just kind of pay attention to, but excuse me. But roster construction just becomes paramount when you get down here, especially if you're doing like a 0 RB type build. We did that with Blake Corum, but market has raised his price. Exactly. It's the last year. Blake Corum was a good example of that, right? And then now we know he has a role and it's a pretty quality role. So even if he does exactly what he did last year, that kind of pays off his ADP. So I'll click Blake Corum if he gets back to me for sure, but only 4.1% him as well. I feel like his price is a little inflated. I do agree with Boogie here. I think his price is definitely a little bit inflated. So it does need to come down a little bit. I've probably only clicked him at a discount. I'd have to check on that, but I'd be confident I've only clicked him at a discount. Does it show my average? It does. 96. Wow. 96.5 is my average ADP. That's kind of interesting. Draft board must have looked different. Yeah, and there's some quality clicks in this range a little bit. There are some quality running back clicks that you can kind of fake it till you make it. So I'm not super unhappy with this kind of build that I've done. Let's do Jadarian Price. That makes just too much sense to take the fall there. I need a running back, obviously, only 11.2%. That's all right. Let's get him in there. And then there's a few other clicks that I don't mind making right around here. Here's your like and a listen till I crash. Appreciate you, man. Anthony, appreciate that. Damn, you're a Corum bull. Boogie's out. Appreciate you, dog. Pretty much, yeah, looks like it. Jeez, I didn't think I'd be average ADP of higher than his current ADP. That's kind of that's why you have an overlay. Shout out Best Ball overlay. That's why you bring it up so you can know where you're taking guys on average, and you're you're ahead of the market. So I should have been clicking Juwan Jennings now, where my average ADP is much higher. That's kind of another one that's a kick in the nuts a little bit. I was not necessarily hoping that Jordan Mason would go, but I kind of wanted to click Rachaad White there. But when I need a running back, I need a high floor in this case, and it's Jordan Mason. As far as if we're talking floor, it's Mason. If we're talking ceiling, it's probably Rachaad White. But I need points. And this is a pretty quality running back room now, realistically. Kenny Walker, Pollard, huge fall in price, and then Jordan Mason. That feels pretty good. I feel like that can play. Obviously, I'm going to add to the room, but I feel like that can play. And maybe I should have went Tootin instead of Waddle there, but that's okay. With Lawrence and Parker Washington. But that's quite all right. I feel like I've caught up in the running back room. Yeah, I feel I'm in good shape. I feel like this is a good team. This is a fun team. So then again, like you can get there's a good range here. Let's go through the kind of range that I was talking about. I don't want to mention names until, I made a comeback at running back. You got Pollard there. You got Gainwell. I think Coleman's fine. I don't want to be a zero, but I don't want to be overweight on Coleman. I like Price a lot. That's a good click. I like Mason. I don't mind Corum in this range. I think Mike Washington is fine in this range. And then Dowdle's rising, which is kind of wild. Dowdle used to be in this range as well, but now he's kind of risen, which is a little strange, if you ask me. He's catching Jaylen Warren, which is really interesting, kind of surprising, but I don't know. I think they're both okay clicks. I just wasn't expecting Dowdle to rise, which I actually like because all the kind of poor clicks I've been talking about, my average ADP on Dowdle's got to be a bunch lower than that. I don't think I can bring him up on here anymore. Maybe. Let's try. No, because he's gone. That's all right. That's all right. I know it's lower than that. That's for sure. I was clicking Dowdle a lot in the 1 teens kind of thing. So let's leave that there. Diggs is definitely falling these days. There he goes. He was kind of on the list. Quarterbacks are not necessarily falling, but they're not flying up the board like they typically are, which is kind of interesting. And Rachaad White's there for me, so I'm going to take Rachaad White, obviously. Now I feel really comfy with this room. Let's do that. I'm going to be done at quarterback. I could take Strange and double stack the Jags. I think that's fine. It's kind of the only time I'm clicking Brenton Strange, if I'm being honest, is in this type of situation. A little bit of a fall. It correlates. It does make sense. I don't have a tight end at all. I think it makes sense to take him in a build like this. So if he's there, I'll probably click him. 9.2% Kelsey. That's actually a little bit surprising. There goes Strange. That's fine. There's actually better clicks down the board if I'm being straight with you. So I'm not mad at all at the Strange click there. I think you can get Brenton Strange in the 18th round, literally. Different name, but same stat line, realistically. We talked about that a few episodes ago. Tyrone Tracy's been falling down the draft board, which he should, but I think he's clickable, just not here. Let's do I kind of want to go Omar Cooper here and get a little more, though. Tight end is probably the correct click here. It's a good range, but yeah, like Likely and Juwan Johnson would be the two tight ends that I'd feel like I need to click down here. Kelsey's fine, but I don't want to be too much higher than, 8 to 10% roughly. I don't want to be too much higher than that. And it doesn't particularly correlate. I've already got Kenny Walker. Not that changes anything, but I just don't think it makes as much sense. It would have been Juwan Johnson or Likely in this instance. I feel good about this team, though. I think I fully caught up at running back. Rachaad White's there, like I said. That's a good click around here. That's pretty much it that we haven't talked about yet. I'm not a big JCM guy, though. He could be a winner after the draft if they don't get Love. He could be a winner. Jerome Ford could be that guy. Hard to say. Rachaad White is kind of the guy I like the most. We're kind of regardless. Woody Marks, I still don't have the. I just can't particularly do it with Woody Marks. Aaron Jones just too old and fragile for me personally. Never clicking Zach Charbonnet. I don't really understand that click at all, if I'm being honest. Sorry, Game God, but I'm never ever clicking Zach Charbonnet. I like the Rodriguez click. That's late too. Good on you. Good click there. But I already had my Jags pass catchers. I'm not going with the thunder piece of the Jags backfield when I'm looking for, passing volume. Dynasties, what's up? Or Dynasties in here. What's up, dude? Appreciate you. I think it's the McCarthy connection a couple years back with Dowdle. Yeah, I get it. I just like Jalen Warren's still kind of, he's still there. You know what I mean? Like he's still the incumbent. He's still the starter kind of thing. So I don't know. I don't know why it would just like entirely shift to Dowdle. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Likely and Johnson go all last all the way to right before I pick. That's funny. Don't really like this range at all. So let's pull up Stowers. Let's pull up Stowers. I'm definitely going 3 tight ends. So let's get some sex appeal with Eli Stowers in there. I don't want to go with Chig when I have Rashad White and Terry McLaurin already. I think that could be overkill. I do like that offense, though. And it could be fine. Let the stacks run through you. Omega's in here. What's up, man? Appreciate you. Oh, man. Would you believe Sharp's going 120th on DK? Wow. Yikes. That's I don't draft on DK at all. I would believe that because DK is kind of jokes. But yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. Let's go Chig. I don't really love it, but again, I just believe in that offense. And it's not like I have 2 wide receivers. I like the offense a lot. I think it's fine. I kind of know it's fine. If it's a good offense, then it still makes sense and it can definitely work. I just think it's a little overkill. I don't know. I don't love it, but I'm going to do it because I think they're all good clicks, especially when I get a 9-pick discount on Rashad White. Pulled up Chig, but I need tight end. And there's no wide receivers in this range that I really feel like I need, though I think Calvin Ridley should be on my radar a little bit more. I haven't clicked him at all, not once. AJ Barner's fine, but again, like he's a little bit inflated. Chig should be going ahead of AJ Barner. So where I took Chig 172, Barner's ADP is 172. Like it's totally fine. So yeah, he's still a really good click. Trey Harris is fine, but I don't want to get that out of control. Chimere DK is already a little out of control with 31% in just the big board. So I definitely need to slow way down on that and probably pivot to Ridley a little bit. To Slaw, I think it's fine, but I think it's build dependent kind of thing. If Barner's still there, which he could be, then I'll click him. Then it makes some sense. But like, what's the difference between AJ Barner and Cade Otton? The only thing is the rushing upside with AJ Barner with the sneak, the tush push sort of thing, the Seattle version of the tush push. He does get some kind of rushing equity, rushing upside. He had 1 rushing touchdown last year. So it definitely ups him a little bit. I like AJ Barner more than like David Njoku. That's for sure. More than Taylor, more than any of these guys. But Cade Otton, as far as like just pass catching, took away the rushing upside and the rushing touchdown realistically upside from Barner. There's no difference between Cade Otton and AJ Barner, or even Pat Freiermuth for that matter. So I think he does need to fall a little bit. But yeah. You taking any Gesicki on Burrow teams? I'm not. I was doing that a lot last year, and it really just killed you, to be honest. There's just better clicks at tight end than Gesicki. Like if he didn't do it last year and he's not particularly really done it with the Bengals, then I just don't think he's a good click. Like bottom line, point blank, don't think he's a good click. I'm gonna take an Emmanuel Wilson share. My first one in the big board. I think I drafted him earlier today in the little board. So let's do that. Let's do Emmanuel Wilson, get a share there. He was pretty efficient. His efficiency numbers were very high last year. And he had a couple kind of breakout games. Like he had a 100-yard game, 80+ yard game. Like it's kind of in there. And they don't really have much else. It's George Halani and Emmanuel Wilson right now. Do I think they draft somebody? Absolutely. Could that be Jadarian Price? Maybe. But there could still be some meat for Emmanuel Wilson. 2662 is what we're looking like right now. I really like my wide receiver room a lot. And we're going to add to it with my guy, Jeremy Bernard. Every single time in the 17th round, it's Jeremy Bernard now. It was like that in the 20th, then it was like that in the 19th, then it was like that in the 18th. Now it's like that in the 17th. So I'm just not doing it with Gesicki. We'll put a bow on that conversation. I'm just not doing it. 6 touchdowns in the last combined in the last 3 seasons. Averages what, 400 yards in the last 3 seasons? It's just not there. Like it's just not there for Mike Gesicki. Can't block. No block, no rock, man. Like Drew Sample out touches or out snaps him by a fair margin, So it's you could make an argument he's not even the starter on the Bengals. So I'm just not doing it. I think he's a poor click, and I'm not overstacking. There's no need to bring in Mike Gesicki. I'd sooner take Joe Burrow naked than add on Mike Gesicki personally. I know some people like him. I definitely know some people like him, but I do not, and I will not be drafting Mike Gesicki this year at all. Realistically, I just think there's better clicks, better shots to take than Mike Gesicki this year. Mufasa's in the house. What's up, man? Appreciate you. I'm doing well. A little bit tuckered out, body sore, but we truck on. We have 3 more picks. Let's ask the chat now. You guys want to do another big board, or do we want to do a college basketball bracket draft that I know nothing about and I'm just going to wing? So let me know in the chat. If there's enough appetite for college basketball, we'll do that. But if we want to keep drafting football, we'll do that. One for big board, another for big board. Just shut up and dribble, they say. Shut up and dribble, man. Just do your job. Do your thing. Don't try to get cute. Fine. I get it. I get it, guys. That sucks. Freiermuth and Otten are gone. That kind of hurts. Those are the 2 tight ends I was looking at drafting here. It definitely won't be Mike Gesicki. I actually think Greg Dulcich is an okay click. I kind of want to get some Dulcich, but not on this team. Not when I have Waddle already. I'm not mixing the over the middle of the field type stuff. It just doesn't make sense. I'm not bringing that all together. Wow. Trying to even out some exposures down here. Let's do Ayumanor. I don't want too much Brazel. I don't want too much Kyle Williams, but I want just enough. Again, not going Malik Washington when, again, I want everything over the middle of the field, everything slot-ish type of routes. Not everything. Waddle will play on the outside, obviously, but I want that all to go to Waddle. So I don't want to like double dip with the same type of production with Dulcich and Malik Washington personally. Do I want to take... Man, I really missed out on tight end. That kind of sucks. I might take another running back, and like Najee's just a fun click down here for what he could be. Again, I'm not worried that he hasn't signed because he wouldn't pass physical right now. So he's not going to get signed. So he could still definitely be like a league winner. Yeah, everyone wants a big board, so let's do that. Just missed the Bengals tight end combo. Got a few shares. Hopefully, a healthy Eric All. Am I crazy? I think that's asking a lot, man. Like Eric All has an extensive injury history, a very extensive injury history. He missed, I believe, he was a rookie in 2023. And he missed all that year, got injured again in 2024, missed all. I thought his career was over. Honestly, I thought his career was over. So the fact that he's still playing is kind of wild to me. Yeah, I'm not drafting any Eric All. I'll tell you that much. I think there's a lot of hopium in there. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Man, I don't like where I'm at tight end, and I typically would just say I'll leave it and go with 2, but I just don't think that that's the way to go with these 2 guys. I think I have to add someone, and maybe it is Dulcich now that I'm down here. It just kind of is what it is, but time to take Gesicki. I've done it on Bro Team of 2 in the big board. Fuck. You might be right if I'm being honest. Like, it is pretty bad down here. Though, like, Dawson Knox could be a fine click realistically. Like, honestly, give me Dawson Knox over. What's the difference between Dawson Knox and Gesicki? At least Dawson Knox is on the field, Like, oh, gosh. Gosh darn it. Jeez. I really wish Cole Kmet went somewhere else. I was thinking Jonnu, but the fact that he's still out there just hanging around and no one wants him. That play that he botched so publicly last year was really hurting him. There's Eric All. Noah Gray, I don't know. I have like a couple clicks of Noah Gray, actually. It's pretty bad down here. There goes Dulcich. Good click, game tight. I don't mind that. I think that's a good click, especially if like you're drafting Miami. Yeah. Gordon, Dulcich. I don't mind it. I think I gotta take Gesicki here, unless it's just Colby. Though there's just a lot of nervous energy around the tight end position with the Rams. I guess it's Gesicki. All that just dragging him for about 10 minutes there, and I draft Mike Gesicki. Doesn't feel good. It doesn't make this tight end room feel any better, if I'm being honest. But like, yeah, it's like literally it was Dawson Knox. I guess Evan Ingram. He's still there. I don't know. I've seen Arroyo pop up here and there in the last little bit, but I'm not into that. JT Sanders I've seen a little bit, but I'm definitely not into that. Yikes. Well, if you're going to be weak somewhere, tight end is the place to do it. And I have a lottery ticket in Stowers, and I really like the potential for Chig, at least decent floor. Mike Gesicki, you never know. He's that wild card that could show up a time or two. Yikes. Where'd we leave off here? Jeez, falling behind in the chat. Let's get caught up. Fantasy Dog, what's up, man? Appreciate that. In my opinion, is week 1 starter for the Seahawks. Probably not on this team yet, but George Holani is the most likely, unless it's whatever rookie that they draft. I think if it's Jadarian Price in the last pick of the first round, which I'm not really sold on. I think it's a possibility, but I wouldn't, write that down in ink right now. Then it would be Jadarian Price. If they don't get somebody until like the 3rd round of the draft, then I think it's George Holani. Emmanuel Wilson, I think, is fine too, though. So like realistically, it doesn't really matter who the starter is for Seattle. Let's if it's say a 3rd round rookie running back, Emmanuel Wilson and George Holani, let's wait a couple weeks before we we'd have to see usage, essentially, is what I'm getting at. So like all summer, if that's the case, and that's how we're drafting all summer, I don't know. Tell yourself a story, pick a guy you like, get a little bit of everybody, all those strategies can be employed. And I wouldn't say you're wrong for any of them. So we'll see how it goes. I'm more nervous about them taking Stowers in round 2. Rams? I'm not sure what we're talking about, but yeah, I don't mind Parkinson because of that exact reason. Like he had 8 touchdowns last year. Like that's pretty hard to beat. Even if that gets cut in half, that's still pretty reasonable for a 20th round tight end click. So I don't mind it either. I've got 3% Parkinson, but there's just a lot of, again, nervous energy around the tight end spot. There's a lot of linking Kenyon Sadiq to the Rams, which I don't think makes sense, but a lot of NFL people seem to think so. I don't think I'll be mocking that when I do my mock draft, but we'll see. And then if they went, Stowers in the second round, I don't know. It's and even with Higbee coming back, they still have Davis Allen. They still have obviously Terrence Ferguson. They still have Colby Parkinson. Like it's a crowded tight end room. So I was hoping Higbee would be gone, Higbee would be gone, and potentially even Davis Allen. But here we are. So. Evan Ingram, yeah, he's still there, but it's just a tough one. I don't mind Noah Fant, but not on New Orleans. Like I think there's a future for Noah Fant somewhere if he could get a shot. Like he's just realistically kind of never had a fair shot in his career. It feels like I thought he might get that with the Bengals, but you know, it is what it is. Now he's with New Orleans, like with Juwan Johnson there. I think it's going to be tough for him to get on the field too much or any more than he was with the Bengals, realistically. Fingers crossed, man. I'm going to need it probably on this team. Yeah. Copy paste set me up, man. You set me up, didn't you? Didn't you? Don't overthink it with Knox. Fair enough. I think Knox is actually an okay click. If you could do worse than Knox, you really could. We talked about this. Could be safe. Hard, yeah, it probably is. But again, it's just a tough click. I could definitely, you could definitely tell me that that's the correct click there, and I would believe you. But I got bullied into Gasecki by the chat. Who aims in the house? What's up, man? Appreciate you. Pollard or Tracy? It's got to be Pollard or Tracy for the Seattle Seahawks. I think you're talking. Maybe, like, again, if one of those two teams draft Jeremiah Love, then that makes sense that one of those two would come available pretty cheaply or even be cut potentially. So could be. Davis Allen might be their best blocker, but Parkinson's not a bad blocker by any means. He looked good other than that drop. We're talking about Jonnu. Yeah. But that was just really, and I don't know if it was that drop. It was that just missed route when Rodgers threw it in the dirt 20 feet away from anybody, essentially. They aren't taking a project player. Is Sadiq a project? I'm not so sure. He's a project. You like the 0 wide receiver team? I'll take a quick peek, Gritty. We're going to jump into another draft here so we can get one more going. Parkinson, yeah. Maybe Parkinson was the correct click there, but it is what it is. About Stowers in the second. Oh, a project. Yeah, I don't think that makes sense for Stowers. I think Kenyon Sadiq in the first. I still don't think that makes sense personally, but a lot of people are putting Sadiq to the Rams in the first round. I agree with that. I think Eli Stowers in the second would make even less sense for the Rams, but I don't think either one makes sense. I'll definitely say I agree with you there. I would say that I don't think either one makes sense. Let's take a quick peek at Gritty's. Let's just go to the draft board here. 0 wide receiver, Matthew Golden and IU. Gritty, Judy, holy Ridley, Mooney. This is the island of misfit toys, my dog. Damn. I do like Adonai Mitchell now that Geno Smith is there. I do like Adonai Mitchell, but this is a rugged looking wide receiver room, even though, I mean, you threw 10 at it, so you kind of got to do it, but damn, that's a wide receiver room right there. That I'm not sure you're going to be able to I don't think you're going to be able to advance, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, with that wide receiver room. But yeah, Godspeed, man. Godspeed. On Mitchell, yeah, I like Adonai Mitchell now again. I wish I kept drafting him, but obviously there was concern there. Let's jump into another big board. Let's get in here quick and get this ripping. Everyone said, shut up and dribble, stick to basketball, or sorry, stick to football, stick to what you know. And let's rip another big board in here. Gritty, man, does his thing, man. You can't knock the guy. It's his own money, and he does his thing. He believes in his strategy. I don't. This is funny enough. Gritty's been drafting all day. PPR Tyler drafted earlier. He was in PPR draft or PPR Tyler's stream, and Tyler said it's a pro Gritty program. This Off the Schneid is a pro Gritty program as well. I'll defend. We need to protect Gritty. Chase Claypool may or may not have his family held hostage. I can't say for certain. I'm like 37-ish% sure that is a thing. But, we must protect Gritty at all costs. I got the 102. I sure did. I'm happy about that. I hope I get Gibbs because I need a little bit more. I'm about half Gibbs as I am to Bijan there. So I'd like to get a little bit more Gibbs. I'd never get the 2. And then when I did, he started going 1 all the time. There we go. Get a little Gibbs. That's what I'm talking about. Bam. Let's do that. Fantasy dogs in here. What's your underdog handle? Fantasy dog. We got Dynasty at the 5. Huhaim's in the 9. Fucking Alpha in the 8. I feel like that guy might be in the chat. Yeah, he's a visionary. Gritty's he's a pioneer. Oh, I missed it. Oh, my bad, man. There's only a couple spots. My apologies. Already won the draft getting Gibbs. I've been barely able to get him. That's only 4% Gibbs. 4%, only because I haven't gotten the 2, and now he goes to the 1. So it's been kind of tough with Gibbs, but I'm trying to get as much as I can. But again, that's what it's where we're at right now. That's what this show's all about, is even in our exposure. So hopefully I can get more Gibbs. Yeah, Gritty doesn't give a fuck, man. And I love that. You guys know how I am on this show. And Gritty gets dragged left, right, and center on the Twitter machine by dudes he's never even interacted with, that doesn't even really know. It's always like, there's that one guy who drafts a lot of Chase Claypool or something like that. People shit talking him, he's never even interacted with. This is a pro Gritty program. I'll defend Gritty till the end of my days. Jeff T's in the 13 spot. Nice. Who do you usually go with at the 13 spot? I'm celebrating paying off my first place golden, but Superflex winning today by, you guessed it, drafting more best ball teams. There you go. That's how you celebrate, man. Spend it. Spend it on more drafts. Sorry, invest it in more drafts. Yeah, that's how it goes, man. That's actually, I've been pretty lucky. Literally, I think every time I've had the 2, I've gotten Gibbs. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong on that. Actually, one time, sorry. I think it was even earlier today. One time I had the 2 and the 1 spot took Gibbs, so I had to take Bijan. But other than that, every time I've gotten Gibbs at the 2, which is nice. But they'll tell you how often I've gotten the 2 spot. Not very. Clayton Tune at the 13. I don't know if he'll be there for you, dog. Yeah. Investing. I don't know if you're married. I can't really complain. My wife lets me get away with a lot of, this kind of nonsense. So shout out to my wife on that one. Not every wife would be as accommodating, if you will, as my wonderful wife is with my drafting and my football nonsense. What are we gonna do here with Gibbs? I mean, neighbors would have been sweet. 50% Gibbs with Chase Brown, but that's not a lot because I only have 4% Gibbs. Don't have him with Nico. Let's go Brock Bowers. I think he's a nice value down here. Even out those exposures a little bit. If Chase is still there, I'll take him. If Nico's still there, I'll take him. Don't have him paired with Gibbs or Bowers, so Nico's gone. I think I need more Olave, only 3%. If Brown's there, I'll take him. If not, okay. I feel like I got to take Chase Brown here. It gets a little bit unique. And he's just too much of a value to pass up here. Only 11% with Bowers. It makes some sense. I like that. We're not getting boxed out at tight end in this draft. I'll tell you that much. Won't happen twice. Fool me once, shame on me. Or shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. There we go. There we go. Done 2 bigger boards, 2 shares of Gibbs. That's all right. That feels okay. That's got to feel okay. Gibbs at 4, then Nico Henry from a month ago hit like crack. Damn, that'd be nice to get Gibbs at 4. I've never seen him go. I've seen him go 3 like a couple times. I don't think I've ever seen Gibbs go 4. Maybe like when the contest first opened, maybe I was seeing him there, but I was just never getting picks up there. Like I got the 4 a bunch because I have a good bag of Jamar Chase. Just got the 4 in the last draft, right? I have a good bag of Jamar Chase. And then I was getting the 1 a bunch. So I had a bunch of Bijan and a bunch of Chase, but I had like 0 Gibbs for the longest time and like 1 share of Puka for the longest time. And it was brutal. It was brutal, not for lack of trying to draft them. I just never got those draft spots. So it is what it is. 4% Bijan, 13% Gibbs, taking Bijan every chance I've been given. See, that's why like when you get the 1, you take the 1. Unless you want to fade him completely, which is pretty rare, that you're just like, fuck the 1-1. I'm not drafting that guy. So that's why I have so much Bijan. But then, when it kind of flipped, when I'm at the field right now at Bijan, I'm like 8% Bijan. So if I get the 1, I'll take Gibbs here and there, but I'm getting there on my Gibbs. I'm getting there. I was married. Just saying. Better half. That's right. She's much better of a human being than me. Elite start. This is Jiri approved. I like it. I appreciate that. Shout out Jiri. If you don't follow Jiri, go subscribe over there. Who Hames as well in the chat. Go subscribe to Who Hames. 100%. Good content. Who Hames, were you all live twice today? I know you're just ripping some baseball dingers when I started, and might have been live twice today. So shout out Jiri, Who Hames, Laverne Ucky over here. Sup, dog? I think that's all the streamers in the chat. PPR Tyler was in here earlier. Shout out Ty. Gibbs always was 1 when I have the 2. Yeah, that's how she goes, man. Damn, you got Gibbs at the 5 twice. Hashtag jelly, man. That's never happened to me. Never happened to me. Higgins at 37. That's not that crazy. I get him at that turn often. I've got him down here more than once at the 36, 37. It's nice to get that. I'll say that it's a nice fall, but I've gotten that a few times. I said it a couple of weeks ago, and then like I'll do like I've done T Higgins and Terry McLaurin, and then on the 60-61 turn I'll do Jaden Daniels and Joe Burrow. Feels pretty fun. Feels really fun, especially if you go like Genty, Achan, Genty, Hampton, something like that. Genty, Love, whatever. 2 running backs, and then those 2 wide receivers, and then 2 2 quarterbacks. You're done at quarterback. You're feeling good at running back, and you got a good start at wide receiver. So, yeah, that's a nice one. Oh, nice. Shout out. I saw that on the Twitter machine. Updog released that thing. So maybe I'll have to watch that back. I'll try to get in there and check it out. Bowers the meat in an RB sandwich. Absolutely. That was my nickname in college. Shout out Emo Cowboy. Man, if he's there, I'm just gonna take him. I know my exposures are getting out of control. My combos are getting out of control with Terry McLaurin, but he's literally, in my opinion, just the best pick in the 4th round anywhere. And if he's going to continue to go on the left side in the 4th round, I'm going to continue to just absolutely smash the draft button on Terry McLaurin. I'd rather not go Jameson Williams when I have Gibbs. Honestly, I'd rather not, but geez, I honestly think that Rome Odunze is a better click. I still do. I still very much believe in Rome Odunze, and I'm going to click Rome Odunze. You could certainly make an argument that Jameson Williams is the correct click there. And you don't have to go with Jared Goff, but you're like incentivized to. Let's go with Dunze. It opens up a quarterback that I like a lot too. So that leaves it on the table. Let's do that. Let's see where this goes. Honestly, I feel better about this team with Rome Odunze than with Jameson Williams personally. And maybe I'm on an island on that one, but I don't really care. It's just how I feel about the presentation of this roster, essentially. I think we're in a good spot. I like this start. I really do. I really do. I really like the start. Really like the start. It's just live for baseball. Yeah, I saw that. I'm not drafting baseball, so I'm not like exceptionally interested in it. And that's a little late in the game. Like opening day is what, in like 2 weeks, but it's fine. I'm sure it's like a beta type thing. So, but we'll live for NFL during post-draft stuff, most likely. We'll see how it goes. See how that goes for him. Hopefully he does well. Shout out. Oh, dang. Never mind. I thought Caleb would still be on the... That might have been a... Yikes. I was going to say that might have been a Q error. And maybe it was. And then he was like, well, fuck, I better get Burden then. I don't know. You're better off going Burden at the 34. I don't know. Interesting. I mean, I don't know why. Yeah, I feel like that must have been a star method mistake. Because if you really wanted to do that, you could have went like Burden, Loveland, and then did Caleb here. I don't know why you'd want to go Caleb, Burden, then Swift. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Noah Petro, Goat Horns, Red Badge. That just doesn't make a lot of sense. Like just yeah, when for the badgeless, whatever, like badges don't mean a goddamn thing. Goat Horns badge means nothing. I can't really get behind this, if I'm being honest. I'm fine if you pull up Hampton and pull up Kenny Walker. That's fine. But Caleb there and then Burden and then Swift, I mean, when there's a Dunze and Loveland that I think are much better options, if you're going down that road, then it just, I don't know. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me personally. Did that with Smith, Terry, and Hurts Daniels today. Felt good. Yeah, I don't mind that. Must have been more in the middle because that's a pretty big fall on Jaden Daniels. Who Ames just doesn't want me to have nice things. Takes Jaden Daniels on me. Though I've got an absolute sack full of McLaurin and Jane Daniels, so it's kind of a good thing. It's kind of a good thing if I'm being honest. Yeah, no doubt. Sauconier, what's up, man? Appreciate that. I like Scary Terry. I think he's literally the best click in the entire 4th round. The only guy like Ladd is the only guy that I think could surpass him. I mean, Burden could too, but I think it's more likely that it's like McConkey potentially surpasses him. But I just think Terry's the absolute smash in the 4th. Could be wrong on that. Could be on an island, whatever. But that's just how I feel about it. We're definitely gonna go with Burrow if he's there, which he is. Just wanted to confirm that 69 catches for Chase Brown here. So that feels pretty good. I don't have him paired up with a lot of players, including Chase Brown on this team. So it's unique for me. Plus a little bit of a fall on Joe Burrow, which is fairly common if we're being honest, but that feels pretty good. If the Jamar Chase drafter doesn't want him, I'll take him off your hands. I'll take him off your hands. If Harrison's still there, I'll take him, but yeah, I'll take Marvin Harrison. That feels pretty good. 10 pick drop on that. I only have 4%. I do want a little bit more Harrison now that we know Kyler's not going to be there. Give me some more Marvin Harrison. Well, give me a little bit more Marvin Harrison, including right now. Balanced team, 1, 2, 3, 1. Very, very, very balanced. And I really like the look of this team. This might be one of my more favorite looking teams after 7 rounds. This feels really safe and good. Wide receiver 1, potentially wide receiver 1, potentially wide receiver 1. Definitely the number 1 pass catching option on his team. Workhorse. Man, that feels pretty good. And then Joe Burrow, as long as he's healthy, we're in a good spot. I like this team a lot, if I'm being honest. I really like this squad. Can really do some damage, I feel like. Where did I leave this? Jeez. That's a fun 0 RB in the 4 spot. Chase, Pickens, Allen, Loveland, Williams, Washington, Hurts. Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. Allen doesn't go Burrow, but then goes Hurts down here. I don't know why you don't just take Burrow instead of Parker Washington, but I'm okay with that. Interesting. That'll be one to keep an eye on. I definitely want to see how this team looks at the end of the day. With a super 0 RB, none till the 8th. I was just saying, I think the most I've done is no running backs before round 6. I think is the most 0 RB build that I've done. But I definitely want to see how this guy lands the plane here. That'll be interesting. Does look intentional. What's the difference between goat horns and the goat PFP? What's PFP mean? The goat horns are you won a like a battle royale contest. Though like it can be somewhat easy to get. Like PPR Tyler has goat horns and he won it on some random NBA that was like pretty small field. But shout out, man, you got the goat horns. Good on you. So I'm not judging over here. I'm just saying like some are worth more than others. If you won like a battle royale in football, like 55,000 people, that sort of thing, like that's a pretty sweet badge. But yeah, and who knows what sport this is in. That's what I always say is like, who knows what sport they won the goat horns or attained the goat horns, or where they got their black badge, red badge, whatever. Like who knows? So they could be an amazing baseball drafter and a god-awful football drafter. You see that all the time. So Jaden is mispriced. I agree with that. I agree with that. We only got 23 likes, guys. Come on, help a guy out. 42 live watching. We only got 23 likes. Hit that like button for me if you don't mind, please. I asked nicely, please. Help a guy out. Keep me going. Keep me excited to draft and all that kind of stuff. Hmm. I'm gonna do Pittman. I'm gonna kind of resist the urge to just like force in a quarterback here. I think Pittman's the best click right here. Basically, once Pearsall goes, it becomes Pittman for me. I like that spot in Pittsburgh for him to be a little bit more volume. I'll get into that in a second here. I don't mind Dobbs, but there's a lot of talk, obviously, of another quarterback or another wide receiver coming in. So I kind of want to avoid that. Let's go with Jared Goff now. Let's do that with the running backs. Let's make that happen. I think I can stop at 2 as well. I think I can stop at 2 quarterbacks here. And bring it in with the running backs, the pass catching running backs, where like that could be the difference in another 70. So 70, basically 70 catches for both my running backs paired with their quarterbacks, where like if the the quarterbacks throw 2 touchdown passes, let's say to these RBs or one of them, obviously probably not both. I mean, it's more likely Joe Burrow runs in a touchdown than Jared Goff, but that could be the difference. Even if they throw let's say it's Joe Burrow, he throws 2 touchdown passes to Chase Brown, 1 to Jamar Chase, and then 1 to Yoshi Voss, T. Higgins, Gesicki, anyone else, right? He has a 300-yard, 4 touchdown game, and 2 of them go to, Chase Brown. Like that can be the difference there. Same thing with Goff to Gibbs, and then that could be the difference. So that's fun. I kind of like that. And I don't think I'm going to be done drafting Bengals and Lions. I'm just going to roll with that. And I think I'm going to stop at 2 quarterbacks here as well. Though we'll see if someone like falls into my lap, I would be okay to click another quarterback. Just depends, because I can definitely stop at 2 tight ends here as well. So I could be pretty free to throw some volume at running back and wide receiver, as in I am free to do that if I want to. So we'll see. I'm going to have some flexibility. That's really fun. I like that. I definitely, I was a little like, I didn't know what I was going to do at quarterback outside of Joe Burrow, but that kind of came together nicely. That came together nicely. I like that. Made AJ Brown definitely possible with all those talks. Like I like Dobbs, but I don't know if it's prudent to pull him up there. Profile picture like a goat instead of a dog. It's not. It's actually the same as mine. It's a dash hound with the goat horns. So it just looks like a goat. It's actually just a dash hound, but it looks like a goat. I have the Battle Royale helmet on my little dash hound over here. It's the same avatar. It's just he has goat horns. Any contest for sure. Yeah, BBM gets the horns, which like you should get more than fucking goat horns if you win BBM, in my opinion. Get something cool. Golden avatar or something. I don't know. Something cool. Quarterback prices are so inflated that Aaron Rodgers is arguably the best quarterback value on the board right now if he plays, which I think is a bigger if than people are thinking. Boosted up the likes. Appreciate that, Fantasy Dog. Yeah. Hit that like button. Still, if there's only 31 likes, or 39 watching currently right this second. So if you haven't hit the like button, consider taking 10, not even 3 seconds out of your life to scroll down and make a click. No to Slaw? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. We'll see. It could make sense. I wouldn't say like absolutely not. It's not going to happen. It doesn't make any sense. I wouldn't say that, but I certainly don't think it's necessary. Let's do. I'm just going to pull up Mike Washington here. I feel really good about this whole team. And I kind of am just going to get my guys at this point, like get the guys that I really believe in and that I think will make the texture of this team look really good. So that's why it's Jalen McMillan here over all of these wide receivers. We're doing it. I like that. I really want to land this plane in a way that I feel really good about. I like this team a lot, and I don't really give a shit about ADP right now. So starting essentially round 10, I don't give a shit what the ADP is. I'm going to get the guys that make this team look, as good as I think it can look. Because I have a lot of opportunity and flexibility with this roster so far. I like it. Craft falling 16 spots is very fun. Definitely. I was thinking about taking him wherever he went there. I was thinking about taking him instead of Pittman and then doing Love right there. But I just didn't like it. I just don't like it. Like, give me Goff over Love and give me, I mean, Kraft is he's fine. He's a valuable click. But I think the combination of Goff and let's say I do Mark Andrews, Juwan Johnson, Mark Andrews or Juwan Johnson with Jared Goff or Jordan Love and Kraft. Like, I get there's the correlation there, but I think you're coming out on top with the Goff side than the Love side. So, yeah. And Kraft has actually been falling a little bit lately, which I do think he should. I think he should a little bit. So we'll see where he kind of lands. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. BBM should get a gold crown or a gold dog leash or hell, a pimp cane would be fine. Something, man, right? Something. And I've never even come close to winning Best Ball Mania, but you need something cool. You need something. ADP is a mirage. It's an absolute mirage. Honestly, in the big board, you can do whatever the hell you want. I think you get way more like ADP leeway in the big board. I think there's more room for ADP leeway in the big board than there is in the summer when we have much, much, much more information. It's take a stand, believe in something, get your guys. That's what this draft cycle is all about. The pre-draft stuff, in my opinion. News catching up, 1.5 speed. Appreciate that. I talk pretty fast. So when I watch it at 1.5, I'm like, Jesus, I can barely understand what this guy's saying. Oh my God, it's a freaking wiener dog. I've never noticed that. I really thought it was a goat. No, man. Yeah, it's the same as mine. It's just a dash hound, dude. It looks, in fairness, I get it. It looks exactly like a goat with the goat horns. So that's probably what he's going for, I'm sure. That's funny. That's funny stuff. I know who I want here, and he should still be there. We're going Chris Rodriguez. I've seen him going in the 12th now, and I still think there's some meat on that bone. I think there's some value. I like Chris Rodriguez a lot. I always have as a player. I was drafting him last year over Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. Right or wrong, it was pretty indifferent realistically. Like Merritt wasn't something you absolutely needed, that's for sure. And then we're going to pull up. We're going to pull up Omar Cooper here. Get out of here. We're going to pull up Omar Cooper. I do like him here. Makes a lot of sense. Actually, no, we're going to go Diggs if I can get him. That's all right. Not the end of the world. Either one would have been fine, but it should have been Diggs. That sucks. I didn't realize what pick we were at. 146. It should have absolutely been Diggs there. Oh, well. That sucks. That would have felt even cooler. That would have felt even better if I had Diggs as my wide receiver 6. Jeez, wide receiver 6 Diggs. That would have felt pretty good. But Omar Cooper's fine. I was gonna say I'm gonna pull up Likely, but I just again I have flexibility with Bowers. It just allows me to do whatever I want at my tight end 2 spot. And I think I am gonna be done unless like Cam Ward is there when it comes around, which he will not be. That's for damn sure. Dynasty gets a massive value on Diggs. That's got to feel great. Like I'm not bringing in Jacoby Brissett with Marvin Harrison. I just don't think it really makes sense or is necessary. Well, it could make sense actually, but I don't think it's necessary, and I don't think I'm going to do it. I don't think I'm going to do it, but you never know. Maybe I do. Maybe I do. Is that a fall? I could justify it more if he's there at 170. Couple clicks past ADP. Going Chase and Jahmyr Gibbs gives me some flexibility at running back. I don't know. Wide receiver room's in decent spot, but it's not like I have any like, absolute killers. You never know. Harrison could be that guy. Terry McLaurin could be top 5 wide receiver, but I think I need to throw a little bit more volume. I think it's a 9 wide receiver build when I know it can stop at 2 tight ends. Yeah. Yeah, if you that's the thing, like if you do 2 quarterback builds, your team could be dead. you could but I mean you do get you do get 3 of 12 advancing, so that can help if you if you smash another late round someone late, you can still overcome it. I also think that this is where there's the most edge. If you put work in and you know what you're doing and you have some strong takes and you get it right, I think you can have a massive edge in the big board. And I think I have an edge in the big board. I do. So that's why I max everything. I'll max every tournament they release in the big board season. Everyone already has at least 2 quarterbacks, no 1 QB team in this draft. I think people are being more proactive and just saying unstacked is better than none. That's what I've been saying all draft season. I'd rather just have good point production out of my quarterback position. There's probably some people that only took 2 though. Yeah, that are probably stopping even. Like Dynasty's probably done with Lamar and May. This guy's done with Josh Allen and Hurts, most likely. This guy will probably add another. Love and Prescott, I mean, you could get away with it, but I wouldn't. I'd probably add another. This guy's probably got to add another. Who Ames, again, could get away with Jaden Daniels and Stroud, but you never know. He'll probably add on a late guy, and that's fine. You can stop at 2 with Caleb and Herbert for sure. Dart Darnold, he's going to need another. But yeah, it's a good. Everybody has a pretty quality quarterback room, realistically, which is rare. I know that's something you always kind of keep an eye on, Jeff. So yeah, this is probably the first one I've seen in quite some time that quarterbacks are in a good spot for every team. You act like Cooper's going to come back. Definitely wasn't going to come back, but I should have taken Diggs. I would have if I realized what pick we were on. I would have absolutely taken Diggs over Cooper, but it's still a fine click. He's definitely a fine click for sure, but preference. I don't need to go down that road. I think it's got to be Debo if he's there. I'll fall on the Debo sword. Still a free agent, but I genuinely think I genuinely think that Debo's going to be a Ram. I really do. I really, really do. It sounds like they've kind of gotten out of the AJ Brown sweepstakes, and Debo and AJ Brown play very similarly. So you can accomplish a lot of the same things. Let's go Adonai Mitchell here. Need a little bit more. I like the click. I kind of wanted to go running back, but I have 15% Tajay. I don't think I need any more Tajay. And then it's like, who do I pull up? Someone down here, sure. I was hoping that Keaton Mitchell was still there. That would have been my click for sure, but that's how she goes. I like this wide receiver room a lot, actually. I like this whole team. This is a really fun team, though running back is a little soft, but strong at the top. So that obviously affords me some leeway. So we'll see how that goes. Hoping for Tyson or Diggs to Baltimore with Lamar. I don't even know if I would be hoping for that, if I'm being honest with you. Like, it's hard to say where this offense is going to go with Todd Monken no longer there. And like a pure defensive head coach, whereas like Harbaugh he's a special teams guy, but a pure offensive coach. Like, you got Declan Doyle, comes from the Bears, which, number one, Ben Johnson's offense, and Ben Johnson was calling plays. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm not even sure we'd want that. I think, Diggs could go to the Rams as well on the cheap, go win a Super Bowl. I think that can make a ton of sense. I think the Rams wide receiver 3 spot is fully up for grabs. And I think it could be filled with a cheap vet like Debo, Diggs, or a rookie. We'll see. But whoever ends up in that spot, I think is going to be pretty like lucrative compared to their draft spot potentially. Like, if it's Diggs who's been falling, he's now a smash and he rises back to where he was going, or maybe a little higher than he's at right now. Same thing with Debo. He rises if he becomes a Ram, or maybe it's Omar Cooper or Jeremy Bernard, very similar types to like Debo. That could be on the table. Robert Woods, both Cooper and Jeremy Bernard have been comped to Robert Woods, so they could be a good fit there. Christian Kirk just signed with the 49ers, so I don't know if that's early or not, but that's a fine click, that's for sure. It's an interesting one. It's a good pickup for the 49ers. Got Brissett. There you go. Yeah, I don't think Brissett made sense for me, if I'm being honest. You could definitely say he does and say I'm wrong, and I wouldn't really fight you on it, but I'm just going to be done at quarterback. Though Geno can make sense here too, obviously, with my Adonai Mitchell. But again, there's bench risk there. Does it really make sense? I don't think so. I think you can get by with, as long as Burrow's healthy. And if he's not healthy, then this team's pretty much dead anyways. Right? So let's go Katron. I'm at 40% Katron, but I think he has the most outs of the guys down here to have a real role in an offense. I like Katron a lot at the price he's going. I'll expand on that. So it's either Pat Freiermuth or Cade Otton. And I have wide receivers for both teams. So let's do Cade Otton because I know who the quarterback is. And even if it is Aaron Rodgers, give me Baker Mayfield over Aaron Rodgers at this point in their careers. Though with the offensive, changes, the offensive coaching staff changes with Pittsburgh, maybe Freiermuth is the click. Hard to say, but I don't think I could really go wrong either way, if I'm being honest. So I think I'm okay regardless. But give me Cade Otton. Let's go down that road. And now I'm just going to stop at 2 quarterbacks and 2 tight ends. I'm going to throw a little bit more volume at the running back spot than wide receiver. I like this wide receiver room. I like my running back room, but I think I could use a little more volume there. So probably 2 more running backs, 1 more wide receiver is where we're going to land this plane at. Gabs in here. What's up, man? Joe Burr season? I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so. No one getting stuck having double tap Shedeur and Ty Simpson as their 2 and 3. Being in a room like that just became 3 of 11 advance at that point. Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think you can fall behind a quarterback this year. I've been saying it a lot. We talk about it a lot. Whittington isn't the guy. I mean, I think he's fine, but he just hasn't really like taken a step forward at any point. He's been given some opportunities and he just hasn't really stepped up a little bit. So I don't think so. No. I think he's a good special teamer and like in a pinch and he can do some good stuff on offense. He's a good real life football player. Like he's great on the Rams. He's a good football player for that team. Is he a good fantasy asset? I don't think so at all. And I think I'm not going to say he'll be replaced because he doesn't have that role in the first place, but he won't be the wide receiver 3 on the Rams. I don't think. But we'll see. Do I like Tutu or Tolbert in Miami? I don't particularly like Tutu regardless. Tolbert has more of a history and could be good. Tutu could spike week twice in your lineup with 2 catches, right? He's 1 catch away from a 70-yard touchdown. And Malik Willis showed, in spurts that he can go downfield. And Tutu's that type of guy. But I'm not drafting Tutu or Tolbert, if I'm being honest. I'm not drafting either one. But if like gun to my head, you have to draft one of these two, I would draft Tolbert over Tutu. But I wouldn't do that. Zacchaeus or Dotson for Atlanta. I don't mind Dotson. I think he's an okay click. Former first-round pick. I always liked Jahan Dotson actually as a player. Just had 0 opportunity with the Eagles. And he showed he can do it again, when he was with the Commanders, when he was a bunch younger. I think he had 7 or 8 touchdowns as a rookie. So if everybody felt like there's a lot more meat on that bone, it just kind of never got there. And that Commanders team was just in shambles for a few years and then lands on the Eagles. Not a lot of opportunity. Now he's probably the wide receiver 2 in Atlanta. We'll see kind of what they do in the draft, but I think he's going to have every opportunity to win the wide receiver 2 job. And I like Dotson, so I'm drafting Dotson for sure. I'm drafting a little bit of Jahan Dotson, if I'm being honest with you. Like, what, a 4%? Where is he? 4% or so. Yeah, 4.1% Jahan Dotson, which I think is completely fine. Let's do George Holani. I'm at 4% of him as well. Let's go down that road. I think he's going to have a role at the very least until Charbonnet comes back. I think Kalani's going to have a role. So when I need 7 running backs, give me a guy like George Holani. I think that makes a lot of sense. Do I dare take Trey Benson this late? I mean, geez, why not, I guess. I'm still not so sure he's a good click, if I'm being honest. I think Najee is fine. Yeah, and 7 running back build. Let's go Najee again if he's going to just be there for me. And then I'll finish it out with a wide receiver. I saw Huhames took my guy Jeremy Bernard in the 18th. Wouldn't let me have anything nice, eh? What a click. What a good click. Makes up for the Tyreek Hill click. Woody Marks, Tyreek Hill. I guess you have Stroud with Higgins for the Woody Marks, I guess. Okonkwo with Jaden Daniels. That makes sense. I like Okonkwo a lot regardless. Brings in Jerome Ford. Interesting. Getting a little different tonight, eh, Huames? Brings in Michael Wilson with Brissett. Gino with Wilson was talking about earlier. Falls on the Scadaboo sword. Interesting squad for the Hames. So yeah, not Zacchaeus though. I do like Dotson, but I'm not drafting Zacchaeus at all. Definitely getting a little weird. I had a feeling you were doing some oddball over there. Hoping for a Picasso. 2774 for Dynasty. Njoku, Freiermuth, Andrew Sadiq. I don't think you needed 4, man. I think you could have got away without Njoku for sure. Freiermuth, Andrews and Sadiq, I think is more than enough at tight end. Honestly, I really, really do. I really do. I probably would have thrown another running back on there other than Njoku, rather than Njoku, I should say. Yeah, like if I had Katron Allen on your squad instead of Njoku, I'd have felt better. Or even Singleton, I would have felt better. You could even say, or Freiermuth, just don't draft Freiermuth. I think you're okay with 3. I like Sadiq and Andrews a lot. I'm taking a lot of that combo, Sadiq and Andrews, a lot. It just feels really good to have that high floor and possible high ceiling with Andrews, and then Sadiq with the high ceiling, and then just add on, one of these types of guys, Njoku, Freiermuth, Otten, whatever, Barner, something like that. It feels really good, I think, in the tight end room. Sold Scat's going to be the starter. I'm not. I'm 0% Scattaboo. I'm not drafting Cam Scattaboo, personally. Do you take Aaron Rodgers in the 20th if he makes it back to you? Well, he never goes in the 20th. Is he still there? Jeez. Wow. I mean, that could make some sense with this team. In the 20th round. I feel like I'm in a good spot in my wide receiver room. I don't necessarily need it. That would have been my last click as a probably rookie wide receiver, but I think that actually makes some sense. It's never Michael Penix. I'm not drafting Michael Penix. I think I got bullied into this single share, or it was like an auto click or something stupid. Yeah, I might if he makes it there, that could make a lot of sense. Though I think Dynasty, it would make some. Oh, he's got May, and I know he just took Freiermuth, but he's got May and Lamar Jackson. So hard to say. I don't know. Let's take a look at these wide receivers though, because that's probably what I'll end up with. Taekwon, I think, is fine. I do like some of these rookies. I think John Dotson is fine, but I don't know if I'll go down that road. Skylar Bell, I like. I'm happy to be overweight. Antonio Williams, I might go with here. Or Dealon Burks. I might take just a guy that I want to get a little bit more in, and it has to be. There goes Rodgers. That makes sense that he's not there. I might go Dealon Burks. I want to take one of these rookies that I won't draft very much, but I'm only doing it in these types of rooms. So Antonio Williams, 2% and 1% Burks. Let's go Antonio Williams, I think, is what makes more sense. Bryce Lance can make some sense here too, but let's go Antonio Williams. That's kind of what I want to be doing in these rooms where I'm taking 9 or up to 10 wide receivers, is like tack on a Dealon Burks and Antonio Williams, Skylar Bell. Who else are we doing? Some people like Chris Bell, not for me personally. Colby Young, I took 1 share of on stream actually with Jerry Football. And I don't know if I regret it. I like the player and everything, but he's a real piece of shit of a human being. So I did not know that when I drafted him originally. Eric McAllister is another guy, 2% there. So that's kind of what I want to be doing in these types of rooms. Yeah. Bryce Lance, yeah, a little bit of that. I'm a big Skylar Bell guy as well, but Bryce Lance is on that list too of the 9 when you're in the 9 wide receiver room. I think he's fine. I do have 2%, 9% Skylar Bell, I think we're talking about. DK and drafters for Skylar Bell. Shame Jeff Caldwell's not in the draft pool. Shout out to Kennedy Brooks, I think is her name, on Twitter. She was the only person I saw tweeting about or talking about Jeff Caldwell. Only person before the combine where he just blew it up. And yes, he's not in here because she was all over that and wanting to be. I'm not sure if that's her last name, but Kennedy 10, I think, is her Underdog handle. So shout out. Good follow on Twitter. I'd follow her. I do follow her. So shout out her. She's the only person I saw talking about, literally the only person I saw mention the name Jeff Caldwell. So good on her. 2792, Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, Chase Brown, Mike Washington, Chris Rodriguez, Katron Allen, George Halani, and Najee Brooks. Najee Harris, Najee Brooks. I like this. I think it can work. I think it can definitely play. Najee's still like sneaky live to sign with the Seattle Seahawks too. Like played on the West Coast with the Chargers last year, injured. The only reason he hasn't signed is because he can't sign right now. So once he gets healthy and can pass a physical, I'm sure someone will sign him. Maybe it's the Seattle Seahawks. Makes a lot of sense. You know, Marshawn Lynch, very similar. So you never know. But I like this room. I think it can work because I've got Gibbs and Brown. So, you know, very hero RB or dual. I don't know what we're calling this build, but yeah, I like it. I think that can work. I'm happy with the build there. Terry McLaurin, Roman Dunze, Marvin Harrison, Michael Pittman, Jalen McMillan, Omar Cooper, Deebo Samuel, Adonai Mitchell, Antonio Williams. I think that's really good too. I think that can definitely play as well. Happy with that. Got a huge fall on Harrison. Not huge. 10 picks. Still nice. Big fall on Deebo. That's really fun. Brock Bowers, Kate Otten. This is a fun team. I think this is the type of team texture that could win the whole tournament. I really do. I really do. I really do. And I'm not just saying that because I just drafted and it's my team. I really think that this type of texture is something that could win the entire tournament. Skylar's a riser. I would agree with that. Though he's always been a 20th round guy. He's kind of stayed there. I'm more upside Ja'Day Walker isn't draftable. I'm more upset Ja'Day Walker isn't draftable. Might be the next Deebo. Yeah, maybe once he gets healthy. I'm just not drafting a guy that tore his ACL in November as a rookie. I get it. He'll probably be on the field late, but like rookie wide receiver to come in, learn the offense, get acclimated, figure everything out, be there health-wise, earn the trust of the quarterback. I just think it's a tough proposition as a rookie. I really do. I like Chris Bell a lot. Don't get me wrong. I think that's a good comparison with Deebo. I think he's a little more AJ Brown personally than Deebo, but I do like him, just not particularly for best ball this year. Batman and Robin RB potentially. Mike Washington could be linked to the Seahawks as well potentially. So Katron I think could make a lot of sense for the Seahawks. I think regardless, if it's one of those guys, I think George Halani and the other guy has a role and has some value, at least until Charbonnet comes back. If you were playing Dynasty, let's get this. If you're playing Dynasty, Bell would leapfrog a host of y'all favorites in my eyes. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I have him ranked, I think, at like 11 or something like that. Now, am I being like swayed by the fact that he's injured? Maybe. But I do like Chris Bell. I think he's a fantastic dynasty pick. Fantastic. And you'll be able to get him fairly cheap in dynasty leagues, especially like lesser informed dynasty leagues. You'll definitely be able to get him a little bit cheaper. Batman and Robin RB is what I call that build. Yeah, that's a good word for it. It's definitely a good word for it. There's a lot of ifs and buts beyond Gibbs and Chase Brown, but I think that type of build can work. I think that could work. Yeah, definitely a next year pick. I would be in on that, and a dynasty guy for sure. Red shirt year. It's just gonna be tough. RB1 is AJ Barner, at least on the goal line, right? Yeah, I do agree with that. Maybe not necessarily redshirt. He'll definitely, like I said, he'll get on the field probably weeks like 14 through 18 or 16 through 18. Like he'll have some weeks in the playoffs, but number one, you got to get there. Number two, like, is he going to be able to produce anything that's, worth having in the fantasy football playoffs? And to me, the answer is no. That's why I'm not drafting Chris Bell at all. I will not draft him, but some people are. I know who aims is, tacking him on some rosters. I don't blame you. It's just not for me. I'm just personally not doing it. But we're going to get out of here for the night. Appreciate you guys. If you're just popping in or you're on your way out, hit that like button if you don't mind. You're on your way out. Hopefully we can get some more likes going. A little bit lighter on the like side than some of the other channels I see out there, and we have the same amount of viewers most of the time. So hit that like button if you don't mind. If you like the content, you're new, hit the subscribe button. Help me out. Keeps me kind of motivated to do this, right? So let's hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. We're typically Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It'll be 10:30 Eastern now, 8:30 Mountain Time, 7:30 Pacific. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, pretty lockstep on that now with the timing and everything like that. So we'll be back on Wednesday night. I actually have a guest. I have a guest coming on Wednesday night. So look for it on Twitter. You'll see on Wednesday night. Should be fun. New guest, never been on the show before. So that should be fun. Wednesday night, we'll see you there. Like I was saying off the Schneid, if you're afraid to be wrong, you'll never be right. Hopefully tonight I was right. We win the big board. Have yourselves a great night. We'll see you Wednesday.